Let's go ahead and start going through the names we've got this morning now. Let me get this posted here. And then let's go ahead and start. So, like I said, of course, Soar is my top watch. So then we've got the nightly watch list that has a lot of setups on it today. So I don't want to have too many new setups this morning. A good problem to have, for sure. Having a lot of setups on that nightly watch list is always a good thing. So I see yesterday we had, if you guys look at the poll in the daily update, 70% of you say that you were green, 31% say that you were red. So if you are in the stream today and you were red yesterday, please let me know. Let's speak up about it so I can help you out hopefully today. Oftentimes it's hard for you to see, the problems in your own trading on a personal level. So maybe speaking about it can help you get a couple pointers that might be able to help you out today and keep you in the green. Yesterday, honestly, was an easy day as long as you stay disciplined, as long as you had those stops in place, as long as you didn't run around over trading and trying to force setups. Because yesterday was really slow. It was a Monday, right? So as long as you adhered to the lessons that we went over on Sunday night's class. Um, let's see. Yeah, Mr. Help, if you take a look at the nightly watch list, you'll see GTLB is over there. We are watching that today. Yep. It is on the nightly watch list. So make sure you guys do use the nightly watch list. Make sure you guys are looking at it every night. Or every morning, whenever you come to the desk, make that the first thing that you do. Just pull it up, mark up all of your charts, have that ready to go. So we've got CLSK to watch today. I want to get all of my charts already pulled up here, and you guys hopefully have already done that this morning. Saves you a ton of time if you have. They're already marked up, ready to go whenever you come up and get ready for the morning. So save yourself some time, prepare. We've got CLSK, GTLB. We have got, let's see here. We've got NRSN I wanted to watch this morning, which I don't think that ended up doing anything. No, it did not. We've got PATH. So NRSN, take it off the watch list for the day. We don't care to be playing that. Path, I wanted to watch over 26 today. IoT, we've got to watch today. Again. And I wanted to watch IoT simply over the high of day, that 3570. Then we've got SSNT, which looks like it's dead in the water today. I was going to watch over 15. I doubt we're going to play that. So I'm not even going to include that on my screen. Let's see, what else do we have? What else do we have? So we have SOAR, ALLR. ALLR, I don't really like a whole lot. No, I don't really like a whole lot. The only way that I can see on the daily to have range would be over 120, but then if you look over here at the 1 in pre-market, you've got that level there at 135 and at 145. Not a fan of range on that. I'm going to leave that off my list. Right now we've got CLSK, GTLB, SOAR, IoT, Path, SSNT, which SSNT, again, I doubt we're going to play. We've got 1, 2, 3, about 5 setups that we really like so far. With those 5 setups, I like those 5 setups a lot. So as long as they set up and meet my criteria, I'm pretty confident setups we have today. So it should be a nice green day. Just purely based on what we've got so far on the pre-market watch list and the nightly watch list. Of course, anything can happen. I wanted to look at Neo as well. Look at Neo. We've got range, kind of minimal range, up to about $8. High of day is sitting right at 765. Good range back to about 8, up to 8 slash 830-ish. Off of like honestly over 770. Yeah, you've got the 770. I wouldn't play it off of a flush. I'm seeing 740 on the daily down below. But I wouldn't want to see this break down. I'd want to see this hold. Just play it to the upside. If you get the break to the high, then you've got range up to about 8. So that's not horrible. Obviously, that's less range than I would prefer to play on one of these setups, but over 765, we can look over the high of day. You do have range up to about $8, which gives you, roughly what, 4% of range, which depending on entry, I don't mind. If you can get like a 770 entry risking 766 at the high of day or 765 at the high of day, Nothing that I can really complain about, but obviously looking at the daily, the range isn't too great. I'll watch it. Depends on how strong this thing does end up breaking, but as of right now, it's kind of an iffy one. I don't know. I'll have to see how it breaks, but it's not a bad look. Okay, let me get this posted up here on Neo. Neo also did have earnings, and I'm gonna get that posted up now. All right, so we've got 8 and 830 on this over the high. Very simple setup. That brings us to 6 setups for us to watch into the open. Hopefully, we get something to meet our entry criteria this morning. If we do, should have a nice easy day. And SOAR is also still trading within the $16 range, which is great because I surely thought that it was going to have a stupid low volume bounce in pre-market, which I would not be able to play it anymore today if it did do that. So I'm really crossing my fingers, hoping this thing does open somewhere close to the 15s. I'd like for it to open around 16 bucks. We've still got about 45 minutes left up into open, so still plenty of time for us to do that stupid low volume bounce that I'm kind of worried about. But we'll keep an eye on it and hope that doesn't happen. If it does start to get some volume, though, we can definitely play it. I'd honestly like to play it after open. I'd like to play the capitulation bounce, like I mentioned on the pre-market watch list, and try to get that bounce back up into the 20s. Again, make sure you've got all of your plans up, ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and get mine up on the screen. We're going to be watching CLXK. We're going to be watching GLB. We've got Path. We've got SOAR. We've got IoT. We've got Neo. I'm going to leave SSNT off my list because I don't care to trade that today. I wanted it over the all-time highs, and that doesn't seem to be even a slight possibility today, so I'm going to leave it off. No point wasting our time watching it. CLSK, we're watching over, what do I have, over 937? Yes, over 937. Yesterday was a really good day. We had a lot of gappers that we played in the morning, early morning. We didn't really trade a whole lot after 10. We had Affirm, we had Lyft, we had BYND, which BYND was the biggest that I had mid-large cap wise. Follow-through wise was the best that we had mid-large cap wise. We had the biggest win was on SSNT, but Affirm, Lyft, and I forget the other one that we had yesterday. Let me get it pulled up here. We just didn't really have much follow through because the, of course, overall market was so weak yesterday morning. So definitely put a damper on our setups yesterday, but hopefully get a bit of follow through this morning. Which, don't get me wrong, yesterday was still a good day. We still had a nice green day. Yeah, it was Lyft, Riot, Affirm, UND. I had to get it pulled up there. But like I said, hopefully today the market's a bit more providing and forgiving and wants to give us some more follow through. So we'll cross our fingers. GTLB, we want to watch. I want to watch this. I want to watch it off of flush too. So I initially said that I wanted to watch this over 61 bucks because that's where it was basing last night into the close. But now it's sold off a bit this morning, only up 13% now from news. Let me check over here on the daily, see what price we got back here. You have it off of like a 59 flat, you could honestly. Yeah, 59 flat's actually not too bad either. 59 flat or hold on. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see it below 59. I was gonna say we can even really watch it. If you want to give it more room, we can give it room to like 57, but that's just way too much room to the downside. If it gives back that much of its move, I don't care to be playing it. But if it can hold off the 59, then I have nothing wrong with it. So we'll watch it off of 59 out of the open. And that way you've got room back to 62.30, which is pretty much back into its upper range from yesterday. Then over 62.30, you've got range then to, what about 64.5? I've got 66 and 70 marked up, but let's go with 64 and leave the 66 there. So we've got the 64 between 62.3 and the 66. Okay. We'll see if we can't play that as well. We're going to mark up 65. All right, so we're going to look for the bounce off $59 for the move back up to 62.5, 64, 66, range overhead. Super simple setup. Again, I'd like to have an all-day grinder today on one of these setups. We almost had them going yesterday. We had a lot of nice setups on those mid caps and just could not get anything going more than a couple of percent. We got like 1-2% on most of the names yesterday and then just got stopped for profit. So hoping for a different outcome today. Hopefully get a nice mover that we can big old piece on. UTLB over 59, path over 26. Keep it simple. Thor over 15, IoT over 35.70. Keep it simple. And we have Neo 765. Well, a lot of these aren't going to be over, they're going to be off. So GTLB is off 59, Thor is off 50. Some breakouts, some of these flushes as well. Gwen, I think you might have asked me about GSM last night. It had no volume. So remember we said to stay away from that because it just has zero liquidity on it whatsoever. Even today, I mean, if you look at it now, it's hardly even got 100 shares of volume this morning. I think it's got total maybe 300, 400 shares of volume. The names like that, just stay away from it completely. Do I like ALLR flush into demand zone? It's hard for me to say yes or no because I don't know what zone you're using. Yep, sword dumping, so we're not going to be playing that here. I do still want to watch it out of the open, see if it does want to base again and find buyers for the bounce up at open. We'll see. Especially if this thing of opening only up like 50%, that's going to be nuts considering it was up 1,000% earlier this morning. So we'll see. Yeah, no, muscles, I wouldn't play it there. I mean, you're stuck right below VWAP there. You got VWAP right over price. You've got that whole dollar level right over price. I don't like it there. We're trying to bounce off the 11s here. Keeping a close eye on this because I do want to see what it wants to do out of the open. CMND getting some volume here. You got $6 right overhead on CMND, then up to 6.6, really 6.5, 6.5, and then 7. So fairly light range-wise on CMND, unless you play it up over the high of day of that 555 if buyers find it heavily. Then you've got kind of mediocre range to about $6. I really don't think that's a reason to be taking a trade on this. It's already up 45%, and you only have about 5% of range. Really not too substantial, so I'd be careful if you are to play CMND. Just from a range standpoint, there's really not a whole lot going on. And I wish I could say differently, but there's really just not a whole lot of range on it. I'd rather wait for something better, but that's CMND. You can watch it over the high of day. I don't like it though. It looks heavy, 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 heavy. There's no buyers showing up either on the level 2, so I'm just going to sit back and keep on waiting. We've got our setups that we like into the morning, and I don't like CMND. But sore though, I mean, why thing? Of course, there's no news that I'm seeing on it. I know just ticker change was the article that I saw this morning, but I'm really surprised that it's selling off even further this morning before open. And again, looking at this poll again from yesterday, we have to figure out what the problem is here because now we're seeing 63% of you are green, 36% of you are red. If you were red yesterday and you're not speaking up, make sure you are speaking up and do yourself a favor because yesterday, for example, should have been a pretty easy day. Even last week, I made a poll last week, right? And 75% were green, 25% were red, but even those 25%, I mean, if you guys are red, just speak up and get some help. Nobody's going to make fun of you, so that's what we're here for, is to help you out, make sure that you're at least improving every week. If you don't know what you're struggling with, we can help you out with hopefully some easy solutions. The big reason for red yesterday, if you guys were red yesterday, it's really just going to come down to over trading. It's going to come down to forcing trades. Yesterday, there wasn't a whole lot going on. It was a slower day. So a big part of that, knowing when to sit back. Bit of a low volume bounce here on SOAR. Macchiato, did you stay disciplined yesterday or did you make some mistakes again? Obviously, you're not going to just cut your bad decisions cold turkey, but as long as you're improving every week, that's great. CMND doing as expected. Had zero range on that thing, no incentive for buyers over the high of day, and as you can see there, big fake out over the high of day break. Take a look. Big fake out over the high of day break. This is why it's so important to check for range, guys. Right? Just like on SS&T yesterday, we kept on saying yesterday, no range, no range, no range, no range. And it never made a move anywhere near, back over the high of day where people kept saying it was going to end up yesterday. I mean, now it's, at $9 again. Almost breaking below 9. And this name had no range yesterday at all. It was so choppy all day. Why it's so crucial that you do look at range before really anything else. If you don't have range, nothing else really matters. If SOAR wants to try and reclaim this 15 spot before the open. GTLB starting to show some signs of accumulation down here under 60 bucks. Got 30 minutes to go until the open. Hardly any gappers that are really too active right now. Of course, we've got CMND with some volume, but no range on it. We're watching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 names this morning, looks like. 6 as we sit right now. Maybe be 7 or 8 before open at this rate, but I think we're going to have 6 things to watch. I didn't like a firm today. Today's the first day we haven't liked the firm in like a week. A little bit more than a week. There's just no range left on it. I mean, if you look at the upside on a firm, I think you only have range to like, what, 40 bucks, and we're already at 38.20, 38.50 closed yesterday, so really don't have a whole lot of upside left in that, a whole lot of incentive, I mean, so definitely just avoid a firm today. It's going to be chop city just like it kind of was yesterday, just probably sideways, sideways, sideways until it finally makes a move back to the downside. That thing is so extended as well. It needs to do something. It needs to pull back to like the lower 30s. So an UIPT I don't like personally. I've already got my names I mean, the names that I've got so far are the ones that I like from yesterday. I don't like UIPT. I went over it last night too. I don't like this because of the massive sell-off out of the open yesterday. There's just too much heaviness overhead. So trying to play this over like 23, really from like a 21 all the way to like 25, it's just so heavy because you had so many sellers yesterday at the open. So I don't like that either. It's gonna be too hard for price to make any decent moves to the upside on that one. So again, it's just one of those situations where that's not really an A plus setup, and there's just better opportunities out there. Trade very well yesterday either. So I was watching that one yesterday afternoon just to watch. You guys probably saw the alert where we got the move to the upside over entry, about 30 cents over entry, and the raise stops to break even. Quick pop, and then it just like knifed like $2 a share. It was crazy. So I don't like how it traded yesterday, so I'm not going to be looking at it for today. But, again, make sure you are only planning for A plus setups that, you can look at and say, okay, this is a, absolutely perfect setup. All the stars align here. Everything, I've got all of my confluence here. You've got, I don't know what indicators you use, what you guys would use, but whatever you use to determine a good entry, make sure everything is there. Makes that a good trade, right? If it's got anything wrong with it, just avoid it. You don't have to trade something every day. So if you see something wrong with a setup, do what I do. Just say, oh, well, I don't like it. It's got no range, or say view up is above price, say the EMAs are stacked right above price, say, price action is weak, say you've got no bid showing up on level 2. So it can be a number of things that can stop you from taking a trade, and that's okay. You don't have to force a trade on it, right? Make sure today, if you haven't been, you do stay picky today, that you do wait for those setups that do, have all the stars aligning to where it's just a perfect setup that you are confident in, that you can just execute to a T, confidence. Those are the setups you need to be trading, and if you don't find one during your trading hours, then you just don't take a trade, right? So if you come in, you don't find a setup that you like, don't take a trade, come back the next day, do it again. Come in, wait for your setup, trade it, come back the next day. Make sure you guys are doing that. That's a big thing that I always see. I see a lot of chop. It's a lot of people's trading, which hurts their confidence because they don't wait for those best setups to come along. They just see something moving and they hop right on in. They make up a plan that has no real levels on the chart. They just make up some levels to make up some decent risk to reward. Just hop right in. You got to make sure you're trading these A plus setups. So you've got to make sure everything aligns. And if you don't know what the A plus setups are yet, then now's a good time to definitely study charts, get some good screen time in. That's how you're going to learn what A plus is, just by getting screen time, by practicing. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to know what A plus is, but you haven't been trading for very long. So again, it just goes back to screen time. Seeing what works for you, journaling your trades every day. So, trade your hour, hour and a half, shut down, journal your trades, call it a day, come back the next day. Keep on doing that over and over and over and over. That's how you're going to learn the fastest. We're watching GTL be off this 59 spot today, and I do like this quite a bit. Depending on how we open, real nice look. Real nice look for the range back to the 62.50 and 64, which gives us a decent amount of range. If I can get an entry, I would like it. Trying to think here. If I can get an entry somewhere around like a 59.6, 59.7, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't even mind a 60, depending on how tight I can keep. We'll see. We'll see. But I mean, you've got at least a 4% range to target one off that 60-50, and then 64 would give you roughly 6% of range. So you got a nice look. You got a nice range. All right, we've got about 24 minutes until the open. There are 32 of you in here right now, so what I want you guys to tell me, I need to get you guys a little bit more interactive in the chat, so make sure to let me know at some point this morning before open how you did last week, how you did yesterday, and what you're going to do today to try and improve just a little bit with your performance today. What's the one change you're going to make today to see a better result when we get over to 11 a.m.? That is your homework before the open. Just let me know what you're going to do today to see better results. Let me know how you did last week. Let me know how you did yesterday. Even if you were red and struggled, make sure just to let me know. That way I can try and help you out. EMD back to 5, 6. And again, like I said, that has just no range. Just no range, unfortunately. New lows on SOAR. We're definitely going to have a different plan on that than we initially had. We'll have to see where it wants to base going into the open. Now it's only up 36% on the morning. The fact this gapped up 1,000% early on, and now it's almost giving back everything is crazy. So, it's like, where do we open on this thing? What happens at the open? There's got to be some capitulation at some point. Can I talk more about CMND? I mean, it's not really a whole lot to talk about it. I don't really like it. No range on CMND whatsoever. You've got the 6 right overhead, the 5, 9, and 6 right overhead, which doesn't give buyers too much incentive to try and buy it over the high of day. Mr. Help red last week. Well, let me know what happened last week. Was it just FOMO? Was it, did you see all those big gappers last week? Maybe you missed them, tried to chase other ones, and got chopped up. Good. I mean, it's important to know what you did wrong so you can, sure you prevent that this week. Watch how CMD is trading up here over the breakout, though. You'll see what I mean by lack of range. There's just no incentive to the upside. Look at how it's trading there on the break. FOMO. Yeah, but see, the big thing is you've got to change your mindset. There's not really ever a reason to have FOMO, ever. Now, I want you to understand, when does FOMO ever work out for you? When you FOMO and chase something or trade something without a plan, just purely based on your emotions, when does that ever work out for you for the betterment of your, trading? Is there a single time when it's worked out? There might be, like I said, a single time, but a majority of the trades that you take that way are not going to work out too well. And I'm sure you've taken some fat losses that way. And what you've got to understand, that one trade isn't going to make you. That FOMO entry just isn't worth the risk, right? You've got no plan, you've got no edge, and you're better than that. We're all better than that. We're all in the best place. We're all blessed to even be here, blessed to be in the market. So, make every trade count. Make sure you're trading with a plan. Make sure you're not FOMOing into all of your trades. I don't care if CMND here hits $10. I didn't like it, so guess what? If it hits $10, well, so be it, right? That's the mindset everybody needs to have. You gotta know what you like, and you've got to stick to that. So, gotta make sure you get a plan for everything. Make sure you're going into every day knowing what you want to be playing. Making sure you've got a plan for everything. Make sure it's all an A plus setup. I can see a setup run 2,000, 3,000%, then I won't care. Like, okay, cool. I traded my plan on it. Like on VVOS last week, it ran 1,000%. I think I had a total of like 15% wins, 15% gains on it the day that it ran 1,000%. But I traded it well, you know. So you have to say, oh well, just trade your plan. Never works. Yeah, don't do it. You know. If everybody here knows that FOMO doesn't work, the question is, why do you still do it? The outcome is never going to change when it comes to trading based on FOMO. And we went over it in the class on Sunday too, right? As long as you're right more than 50% of the time, and I'll pull up the chart again for you guys. You can be right more than 50% of the time and have a profit factor. Pull it over here. Chart in the classroom is fantastic. You can be right 50% of the time, more than 50% of the time, with a 1-to-1 profit factor, which is not difficult to achieve. That just means your wins and losses are pretty much equal, right? With a 50% win rate and be break even. But when you have that FOMO, when you add the oversizing, when you add the overtrading, when you add the forced trades, when you've got, maybe ignored risk, that makes this impossible. That makes you, at that point, you need to have like a 90% win rate if you're going to be oversizing, overtrading, forcing trades, FOMO entries, whatever it is. Trading is so easy whenever you get rid of all those impulsive behaviors. Trading is so easy when you get rid of all those impulsive behaviors. You can be profitable with a 2-to-1 risk to reward, 2-to-1 profit factor in this case, with a 40% win rate. You can be profitable that way. So it's so important that you just have to admit that, these emotional entries, they don't work. So if you ever find yourself FOMOing into something, step away. Trade your hours, trade your plan, step away. Keep it easy. One trade is not going to make you rich. That's why we go over discipline so much in here. It really is the most important part of all of this because without it, it's impossible to be profitable. ETLB funding pliers off the lower 59s here. We got 17 minutes till the open. We've got all of our setups all ready to go. Don't like CMND. Know that ALLR has a whole lot of range either. I was looking at it earlier and I didn't like the setup. And I do want to keep watching SOAR as well. So we're currently with 978,000 shares traded so far today. I wouldn't want to see SOAR under 10. If you see SOAR under 10, just leave it alone. But I still want to watch it for a bounce at some point today. It's going to have a ton of volume, or at least it should. How are we looking liquidity-wise on GTLB? How much volume are we trading this morning? 300 and 400,000 shares. Okay. 98 mil share float. Team and D, you're saying, do I like it over View app? It's not a bad look off of View app. For me, it's just not a plus for what I would like today. You like it, yeah. Just from a range standpoint, like I keep on saying, there's just not a whole lot of range on it. So, without there being incentive over the high of day, it's kind of hard to catch a curl, right? Because if there was incentive to the upside, so if buyers had room, say, to like a 6-6, then I would say, yeah, I'd take the curl here. But with there only being range to like 6, and what was the next level overhead? I think 6 was near term. Let me see. You got 6, like 40 right over price. You got 640 over the high of day. Like I said, if it goes, it goes. I don't care. It's fine. But for me, I just don't like it a whole lot. Yeah, if you like it, by all means, trade it. I just don't like it enough. I'm watching the GTLB here pretty close. I might take an entry before the open, but I'm giving it time to find some more buyers here off the lower 59s. I'm getting soaked up every time it's getting pulled back up into the 59 5s, 59 3s. It's getting bought right back up into the 59 8s, 59 9s. So yeah, no, I don't really see a reason to looking at plug here. What were you saying on plug? Let me know. Him and these sellers off the high of day. Fill about 2/3 size here on GTLB, right at 59.74. I've got roughly 70 cents of risk, range sitting right around $3 of range. Puts me close to about 4-to-1 risk to reward in this trade. So we'll see. I want to see a bit of a pop up into the open, see if we can't get a move up into 62.50 today. Big volume down on that grab down towards 59. You see it pulled back down to 59.20. That was the biggest volume candle that we've had since really about 8 a.m. Yeah, since 8 a.m. That candle that pulled back down to 59.20. So that lets me know that that may have been the low for pre. See if we can start to curl here back over 60 bucks. Hit the good old curl back up over 60 and then open. If we can open over 60, we're looking real good. Looking real good if we can open over 60. So just make sure you're trading today. We only have about 9 minutes left until the open. Make sure you are sitting back waiting for the best setups to come to you. Make sure you are not just looking at how much you can make in these trades, but how much you can lose in these trades. Right? So whenever you look to size into these trades, make sure you are making sure that you've got consistent size. Calculate your size. Calculate your risk to make sure you are sizing the correct amount. I don't want to see any oversizing. I don't want to see any overtrading. No forced trades. Don't trade outside of your trading hours today. Let's just do it right. Let's just make it happen. Trade well today, just like we did yesterday and Friday. Here we go. Here's 60 bucks on GTLB. Let's keep on keeping on here. 60 breaking now on GTLB. Get a nice strong open on this, guys. Here we go. 60-30. Beautiful. I sold about 10% of my position here. About 12% actually. Just to de-risk a bit going into open. Talk about a perfect entry on this, though. Let's see if we can keep them on going here. Started with 200 shares, down to 170 shares now. Only had smaller size in the trade to begin with, but we'll see if we can't get the move up into open here. At least get something going to start the morning well. We're going to be risking $59 at the open. See if we can't get the curl back up through. Getting up through this, I guess we're back over 60 now, but holding over 60 at open is going to be tough. If we do flush down quick under 60, I'd be a bit careful. I want to raise stops to, like, I'd like to get stops to entry pretty quick after open, honestly. So we'll see what happens after open. I'd like to raise my stops pretty quick, though, depending on where we do open. So far, nice curl here, trying to break up through the 60-30s now. Buyers stepping up huge on the level 2, guys. Huge buyers on the level 2. 6,000 share order right there at 60.15. Huge buyer stepping up. Got 5 minutes until open. So far, green on the day with the GTLB here. Let's see if we can open up over 60.30. Here we go, 60.28. How she wants to open. I honestly just wanted to hold over entry at this point off of like the 59.75. Yeah, let's do that. I wanted to hold over entry, y'all. So let's just use stops at entry. I don't want to see a knife down below entry. I really want to see it hold over 60, but we'll use entry, which is giving us some breathing room at the open. 5 minutes until open. I'll give it room down to like 59.65. 59. Buyers are gone. Let's see if they want to come back in. Like I said, it's going to be hard for it to hold over that 60 spot. We've got 5 minutes until open. Four minutes until open.